see, I have fun with my granddaughters, but I see a lot of parents out here who are just like letting their little 2 year olds and 3 year olds just run over them, not teaching them any discipline because they think it's cute. They think it's cute to see a little mama out there shaking her butt and twerking and stuff at the age of 2 and 3, not realizing that this is the seed you're planting in this child. So if your child grows up to be a prostitute, guess who planted that seed there? If your child doesn't want to do nothing but shake butt the rest of her days, guess who planted that seed there? It was the parent who thought it was cute instead of discipline. Thought it was cute just because the music sounds good and it looks cute for a baby to shake her butt like that. Well, I tell you, it's not cute when it grows up in them. Because now you got a child who's going to grow up and probably have a lot of kids and a lot of sexually transmitted diseases. So what do we do to save our children in 2018? We got the fathers out here who want to push their sons so hard because they say, I don't want a gay son. I don't want my son to be a Fruit Loop. No, we ain't raising no sissies here. Well, guess what? These days, the harder you push them into being a man is the less of a man they become. Oh my God, I just said a mouthful right there. Because you aren't teaching the children anything. You're not teaching our men and women anything. They're just learning and they're learning from other folks what they should be learning from home. Yes, eventually the streets will influence them, but they will come back home. They won't stay influenced. If you set if you have a real relationship with your children, and I'm not talking about the kind of relationship that is, if you go clean your room up, I'll go buy you some shoes. If you clean your room up, I'll give you $20. Not that kind of relationship. Because see, first of all, that taints the relationship. That means in order for this child to listen, it has to be something involved. Something for something. As a parent, you don't settle for the something for something. Yes, we reward good behavior, but we do not settle for the something for something all the time. When it comes down to our children, what ends up happening when they get older, they're going to want it to be something for something. And that is not how the world works. The world works worse than that, because when the something for something comes from the world, guess what? It turns out you want love, then you got to gangbang with me. You got to rob some people. You got to kill some people. You want love? Guess what? You got to lay down and sleep about 4, 5, 6 brothers. You want love? Guess what? If you need money, this is how you got to get the money. It's something for something. But usually that something in the streets in this world is evil. It's evil. And our children continue to grow up in a home, but with street mentality. Had to take me a little sip there on that. So what can we do to save our children now? What can we do? It's a lot of things that we can do. We can take the steps, first of all, as parents and grandparents. We can mature ourselves. We can take the time to learn the correct ways that we need to go about loving our children, go about disciplining our children. We need to set boundaries and stick to those boundaries. Children, they really actually do love authority. They actually do. Even though they rebel sometimes, children would rather you tell them this is what time you need to go to bed. They want to know that that protection and security is in place. And they know that it's in place by, they know when it's really in place because you reinforce everything that you say. And that's not saying I'm going to whip your butt if you don't stop this and that. It's teaching the child the right way of doing whatever it is that they're doing wrong. It's teaching our adults a better way of doing things right instead of wrong. I think so many times that a majority of these children are mentally disabled and limited because of the people that they are around. The parents themselves are bruising children verbally, sitting there cussing your child out and thinking that's the way to go. I remember thinking that was right too. When I came along, I was 15 years old when I had my children, 15 and 16. So I thought to a certain degree too that this is what I was supposed to do in order to get my child to listen, go ahead and yell at them. But I came to find out that wasn't the way to get your children to listen to you. That's not the way to get them to listen to you. You got to talk to them. You got to be real honest with them about what's going on. You got to be real honest about them that if you do make bad decisions, there are consequences out here. There are consequences that will haunt you. Some consequences you cannot live down. And you will always play it in the back of your mind. So 2018, how do we save our children? We got to save ourselves first. We have to mature first. We have to mature as parents and grandparents and great-grandparents before we can even help our children. Because so many of us now that are anywhere from 30 and up are just like dumbfounded. Really don't know what to do for these children. Don't know how to handle these children. And every time I turn around, we got weak parents saying they're going to party with their children. That's a weak parent. That's a weak vessel. Saying they're going to party with their children. Okay, it's good to have a good time with your child and have that relationship. But what is this child learning from you? What is this child learning from you? If they can party with you, if they can drink with you, if they can smoke weed and snort cocaine with you, then of course, or pop pills, guess what? That child does not see any security in you. If you get cussed out, it's your own fault because they don't see nothing in you. Nothing but a party person. If you allow your children to come up under your roof and shack, if you allow the shacking to go on in your house, guess what? You're going to get cussed out. They're not going to respect you because you don't have any boundaries. You're not holding them accountable for anything. You're not saying, look, this is the right way to do this. You're not saying, if you want to do things like that, you got to get out here and get a job. We're not even teaching our children how to get jobs these days. We're not teaching them how to go to church and be productive citizens. Instead, we teach them to go to church and jump and jump and jump and see who can jump and holler the loudest, see who's got on the best outfit, see who's got the best weaves, the hairstyles, the nails, who's got the best shoes. That's what we teaching our children. We're not giving them any structure or anything stable to rely on. Even when it comes down to God, we are watering our children down. We're not really telling them the real deal about God. We're not telling them the real deal about how hard it is really to live out here. Even whenever you do got a little money, it's still hard. And that is faith that comes by hearing that keeps you going. Because a lot of parents are wavering in the faith. They can't teach what they don't have themselves or what they aren't doing themselves. So it goes back, what do we do to save our children in 2018? We have to mature as adults. We have to find our issues out so that we can help our children. We have to stop bashing our children for every little thing and start correcting them whenever they are wrong. It's a way to correct out of love. Everybody that ever corrected me, yes, I rebelled when they was first doing it. But when I look back now, I went back to them and I say, thank you so much. Because you may walk away from it for a moment, but you won't stray from it long. You go back to what you are originally taught. You go back to it. So, we have to stop being lazy parents. We have to stop being lazy parents. We have to stop this mess, sexual incest. You got to stop sleeping with your uncles. Uncles, you got to stop sleeping with your little nieces and nephews. You got to stop, uncles and aunts. Sexual incest, it has to stop. You have to stop raping your own people. You have to stop raping people, period. a lot of this craziness does start in the home, and it's put under the rug until, shh, this is our secret. Excuse me for the cough, y'all. I'm still dealing with some flu side effects. We have to stop having so many secrets out here. It's some uncles that's probably going to be listening right now. You know you touched your niece. You know you touched your nephew. And you know you need to repent and ask for forgiveness. There's some aunts out here who have been on drugs and didn't mind sleeping with their nephews. You know, we got to think of all that stuff. There's some rapes, assaults going on, verbal and physical abuse. Suicidal rates are up. You know why suicide? There's so many people who want to commit suicide because they don't know a way out, because nobody would listen. Nobody took time to listen, because for the simple fact, if you're not getting paid to listen, you're not going to listen. If it's not on government time, if the government isn't giving out Medicaid numbers and getting a payment for it, they don't listen. They don't listen. You don't get no psychiatrist for free. It goes back to, we got to be people. We got to be real people. There are people out here that need us, and they're not going to always be able to afford our fees. But where is the real people at? Who will say, come here, let me talk to you. Listen, there's a better way out than this. There's a better way to go. Yes, it hurts, but let's work out something. We got to start healing our minds, our hearts and minds. Gosh, there's so many people that are broken, and it's more people than you can see. You think it's only in your family. You're looking at your family and you're saying, my family is crazy. They do all kind of stupid stuff all the time. And there's always some family members that's on drugs, alcoholics. And we look at them and we want to blame them. Well, they just being them, you know. We blame them for a lot of stuff. But they're real about theirs. It's the people that you don't see out front that has a lot to hide. It's the people that you don't see admitting their faults, that are holding in a whole lot of stuff that is dangerous. Dangerous to the mind. There's a whole lot of people who are schizophrenic, paranoid, have anxiety, depression because of the things that they are holding in. They're looking good when they come out in public. They sounding good, and, you know, they have you convinced that they got it all together. But when they get home, they are broken. And guess what? When a person is broken, they take it out on the people they love the most, which is the children. Then we have children who grow up thinking that they never could do right, so they continue to do wrong. I hope that this helps to open someone's eyes, this Little Kiva Advancement Podcast right here on iHeartRadio, to let us know in 2018 we do have to do better. We got to do better. And what I mean by doing better is we can no longer depend on government programs to help assist us in raising our children, or in helping us to help mentally get our children stable, because they're only tapping into just enough to get them started and open up, but then they don't help close it out. You know, they don't stay for the healing process, because Medicaid only pays up to so many weeks of treatment, and then the child is left out here to basically be on their own, unless a good Samaritan or a good faith-building person comes along and sees them in time. So, yeah, we got to get back to loving one another and building our communities up on love. And we just got to stop putting one another down. Even when it comes down to the drug dealers, we can't talk anyway to the drug dealers and expect them to listen to us. We have to have a heart for even them, that we could be able to talk to them and get them to see how destructive what they are doing is the destruction that they are, their part of destruction. If we can get them to see their part of destruction, the gang